Welcome to the Year 8 Mindful Drawing activity. Today we're going to be either drawing a leaf or a raindrop. Okay, what will we need to get started? You will need some coloured pencils. You will need a sharpener just in case, scissors to cut it out, a couple of black pens, markers, textures, different thicknesses if you've got them or can share them, a grey lead. There should be some templates to share in the class and a piece of A5 plain white paper. Creating your shape. You are going to grab a template and carefully trace around it with your grey lead. Do this reasonably quickly so that you can pass the template on to the next person so they can share it and do theirs. Grab your thick marker, texter, and go around the edge before you cut it out. Try and make it nice and thick because this is going to add some nice contrast once they're all layered together. So once you've outlined it all in marker, carefully cut it all out nice and neatly around the edges and make sure you put all the rubbish in the bin. Once it's all cut out, you're going to draw a line down the middle of your leaf or your raindrop. This line's going to have a slight kick in it or a curve. Time for patterns. We're going to draw a nice swirly pattern just on one side of your leaf or raindrop. Thicken up those lines and swirls and make sure they're touching the edges as you go around. So slowly thicken them all up. Make them touch the edges because you want lots of different shapes. Once you've done the swirl, it's time to add the detailed patterns. Pick something simple, easy, and fill in all of the inside of the little shapes that have been created through your swirl. So I'm doing thick straight lines here, then I've swapped to my thin fine liner and I'm going to do thin lines that are really close together. You can do dots, swirls, cross hatching, you can colour some in solid if you want. Just lots and lots of different types of patterns. I found it better if you repeated that pattern in different areas. So if you do the straight lines, do them in 3 or 4 of the different shapes so that you're not having to come up with original ideas every time. Keep going with the patterns until you fill the entire side of the leaf or the raindrop. I'm going to stop here though and move on to my colour gradients. We're now going to colour on the opposite side to our patterns, doing a gradient where we move from one colour to the next, carefully blending. So I've got our selection of colours here. I'm moving all my colours around until I get a nice little blend of blues to greens. Time to blend. So when we're blending, I pick my first colour and I colour in really heavily and then get really light. I started my light blue here, but I went backwards over the dark blue, picked up my dark blue again and blended. It's all about blending backwards and forwards. So you can see I'm constantly picking up one colour and blending back over the other. Once you've finished your blending, go back over the edges with black marker to make it really pop. And you're done.